what we're doing is
we're trying. Meal bashing.
Well, I mean,
We're not meal
I got a
bashing.
couple comments on me. Like, I can't go out with them because they're single. What does that mean?
You're not going to put me in a box.
You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Whatever, like shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. When you're younger, you're like, oh, my man, my baby.
Welcome to the pickup line.
Welcome to the pickup line. Good morning, sunshine.
I know, early for you.
It is early. It is early.
But you're up early.
I'm up early anyway.
Yeah. Right? These are the things that happen after 40.
Yeah, you get up early.
Yeah.
I get up early. I water my garden. I go pray that my cucumbers are going to grow. And I feed my dog, take him out. Mm-hmm. We have 2 hawks in the backyard.
Oh, wow.
They're beautiful. They are red-tailed hawks. And spiritually, they are sending a message from God, right? They're the best things ever.
Have you looked up what the message is?
I didn't look up what the message is for me, but it's like a protection, and it's 2. So hawks, which is going to be part of our topic today, mate for life. Oh. They stay together for life. So it's a male and a female, I'm sure. I don't know. I haven't checked that, but I'm sure it is. And they will stay together for life, and maybe somewhere around is their babies in their nest, and they're probably guarding it. But yesterday I opened the door and those 2 hawks swooped down. They were beautiful. I don't know what they were getting. They won't get Louis because he's big.
No, Louis huge.
He's like 120.
Yeah.
They won't get him. But it's amazing because they will mate and stay together for life. They won't look for another mate. Mm-hmm. And no matter how or where they fly, they know where one another is. They can reach each other.
So interesting metaphor. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You think about how people have different relationships, and there are people who have relationships and they decide that the relationship is going to be a monogamous relationship, like the hawks,
right? And an eagle.
And there are people who choose to explore and have an open marriage or an open relationship, which is like an oxymoron to me, but but that's the choice that they make, and they don't necessarily stay with the same person, or they stay with that person and allow other people to come in,
or they stay together and not marry.
Yeah.
Like some people stay together and not marry for life.
Or they stay together, they're together for a while and then they leave.
Right.
Because, whatever, all the different reasons. So interesting when you think about like nature, like animals and humans.
Mm-hmm. And I say this all the time, and I'll say this again. I don't think God intended for us to be alone. I don't think it was his plan for us to be alone. I don't think it's his plan for us to be lonely. I think loneliness is an epidemic right now, which it is. I don't think that he had that in the cards for us. So I think that women are developing better friendships. Men have friendships as well. They don't want to say it, but they be talking on the phone to their friends too. Right?
I would imagine so.
They be talking on the phone to their friends too. They have their little friend groups as well. And they do golf trips and other things like that. So I think as you get older, over 40, you start looking at life different. Like when you wake up in the morning, it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. When you're hanging out with your friends, you do it to the fullest. You just begin to take care of your body differently, and you look at things differently. You look at the value of life differently. There
was a book I read years ago called Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav.
I read that.
Remember that book?
Yeah, I read that.
I think we talked about this in early episode, but it's interesting because he talks about how relationships have evolved basically, and how the need to be married and be in a relationship, it's different now. And when you said that, women, like we hang out with our girls and we have intimate relationships, you know what I mean? With our girlfriends, we share things that, and I can't help but think about one of the social media clips you and I looked at, and we'll talk about that in a second. But do you think that in some ways that because we've evolved so much in relationships, that women, the relationship with a man is a little bit different in a sense, because over 40, you start to get some of the things that fill your cup outside of your relationship with your man?
I agree. I think that you need more in your life. I think that a man needs more in his life than just his wife and his kids or his girlfriend. And I think a woman needs more in her life other than just her husband. I think it's healthy to have friendships and relationships with both sexes. I don't like it when it's like, oh, I can't go out with them because they're single. What does that mean? Single women know how to carry themselves in front of married women or in front of another couple. I think that that's a little ridiculous. And I think that that wreaks insecurity on that other person's part, because If I'm in a relationship, I don't care if my husband goes out with his friends. I don't care if he hangs out with his boys. I don't care if he goes on a golf trip. You should have that level of trust
Mhm.
in your partner. I think it's healthy for men to hang out with men, to kick it, go have a beer, take a trip, do what you need to do. It's just my opinion. I saw a girl on a podcast the other day that said, "Well, if you're married, why do you need that?" Everybody needs that.
Right, and that's the podcast. That's the social media clip I'm talking
Yes,
about. So,
everybody needs
but they
that.
have very different views, right? One was like, she was like, "Well, why do you need to go and have lunch with your male friend when you have a husband? Why do you need to go have lunch with your female friend if you're a man when you have a wife?" And that was like where she was coming from with that. And I understand what she's saying. The other women were which completely different,
Yeah,
perspective.
they pounced on her.
Right, but
They pounced on her.
the thing about it though is,
Sometimes she needs pouncing, but they pounced on
but
her.
I think what we have to look at when we disagree or we have different point of views is like we have to look at the beauty in that, right? Because
Correct.
we're not all the same.
Mm-mm.
That's kind of like we were talking about, like the stereotypes or what people think after you're 40 years old. You should have this. You should have done this. You should be married. You should have kids. Or you should be, whatever, your career should be here. And it's like we put all these shoulds on each other. And in that instance, it's like for her truth for herself and her perspective is like, my man shouldn't need to have another woman that he talks to about anything. And they were like, why? Like, I want to hang out with my homeboy and, kick it with him.
And I often wonder what her insecurity is, right? I often wonder, because she's a beautiful girl, why she's on so insecure. Because my best friends from college, my best friends from high school, one of my best friends from middle school that I went to middle school, school 98 with,
Mm-hmm.
is a guy. He has a wife, he has a daughter. We are friends. My best friend from college, he dated my college roommate. He has a wife, he has 3 kids. We are still friends. And women, when you're around men that are in a relationship, you should carry yourselves a certain way, right? There shouldn't be any flirtatious behavior. There should just be pure friendships. And sometimes when I have questions about men, I ask them. Like I ask
Right.
them
Yeah.
because I can get a man's perspective from
Yeah.
them.
But what she was saying is if her husband has a female friend that come over to the house and I'll cook for everybody. So that's what her point was like, okay, you have a female friend
She said yes.
or you have you have a female friend to her husband, you come to the house and I'll cook and we'll all hang out together. That's what she's saying. And I think let me just cuz I get both sides.
Correct.
I can see both sides. And I don't know if it's we're all insecure about something. Who
Right.
knows what her insecurity is? I don't know. We all have insecurities. I think it's more of a environment, the way she was raised. I think it's
Okay.
more about that. I think it's more about like her picture of,
The
her
perfect life.
or what for her, whatever that
Right.
is, right? And for the other girls, I think for them it's like, well, I see my marriage differently. Like when I got
Mm-hmm.
married, we went to marriage counseling and the counselor said, "You guys, you're in a marriage, so you make your marriage what you want your marriage to be. You define that, whatever that is. Whatever that means sexually, whatever that means relationally, whatever that means friendship wise outside of the marriage, but you have to agree on what that is."
And I'm going to give you that because I've never been married. But I will also say this: I'm not an insecure woman. I've said that over and over. I'm not insecure. I don't care if my man goes out with his friends. I don't care if my man has a girl that's a best friend, as long as she complies with our whole family, as long as she respects me, the kids, the way we move and the way we act. I just feel like sometimes it's important to have girl time.
Hmm.
It's important to have my sister time. It's important to have auntie time. It's important to have time with my mom. It fills my cup to be around other women, and it fills my cup to be around positive women. And I think that for a man, it fills his cup to go on a golf trip and hang out with some masculinity and be like, you know, Rambo. Like, I think it's good.
Hmm.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it takes away from the relationship. I think it enhances the relationship because you get to be who you are.
When you're hanging out with your girlfriends and he's
Um,
hanging out with his guy
no,
friends.
I think you're who you are together. But I mean, come on, when you go dancing with your girlfriends, it's so much fun. It's
Yeah.
dancing with your husband's fun too,
Yeah.
but when you're kicking it with your girls and you're having fun and you're doing your thing, It's awesome. It's kind of like you like
I agree.
let
No,
out
we do definitely
endorphins.
need that time.
You're letting out endorphins and you're having a great
What
time.
she's saying is like, why would it basically? And I'm completely, putting in my own thoughts of this, but I feel like what she's saying is, I should be the one that fills your cup. Now I'm not, and I think that it's important to have relationships. I think she's saying opposite sex. Like
Hmm.
if he's going out to lunch with
But
another
you do fill
woman,
his cup. You do fill it.
right?
She does fill a cup. Like she's putting coffee in the cup. She
Hmm.
does fill his cup. It's just that I was looking at Kiki Palmer's podcast, and there was a clip, and it was the mom from Blackish, and she was talking about, I only have X amount of summers left to live my life.
Oh yeah,
and
Jennifer or
and
her.
I love that. I love that because when you're in a marriage, you still have a life.
Hmm.
When you're in a marriage, you still only have a certain amount of time to be here. So at my age, I only have X amount of summers to live my life. Well, I better get the hell out of the house and start living it,
Hmm.
because the honest to God truth is, nobody's going to live it for me.
So basically, don't spend your time worrying if you're don't spend your time worrying about what that person is doing. Figure out ways. I always say focus on the can do's.
Yeah.
Like I'm like focus on the can do's rather than, well, what if this and maybe he's that and I missed that, I should have that, I could have that, I would have. Like you're still living, you're still breathing. So
And you're
thinking about
still
doing more of those
growing.
things.
You're
Of
still
course.
growing. When you're young, you view it another one way. When you get older, you view it a different way. It's like when you parent one way when you're younger, and then when your kids grow up and evolve and become adults, you're parenting a different way. I feel like it's probably the same thing in a relationship. And the thing about a relationship is, anybody can have a relationship, but it's having a good relationship.
So talk about how it's different because you said when you're young, you're growing, you look at it one way, and then you're older, you're still growing, you look at it another way. Like how is it? What's different?
In some of my relationships when I was younger, I was a little more insecure. I didn't know who Mari was, right? I was more so about, I want to do these things right. I want to be the Huxtables. Like I want to have that life. I want to have my degree. I want to have my man. I want to have my kids, my dog, my
You want to be
picket
Claire
fence.
Huxtable.
I wanted to be Clara. Like, right? I wanted to be Clara. Well, shit happens in Clara's life,
Mhm.
and shit happens in the Huxtable's life. We see that. That shit's canceled. Like, right? Like, so
It's on TV One
yeah.
now.
Oh, good,
It is.
good.
Yeah.
But we see that, right? We
Hmm.
see that things happen in a relationship. You grow in a relationship. You evolve in a relationship. And as you get older and you get more free time and you don't have your kids, you get to travel with one another. You get to learn each other in a different way. It's almost like you fall in love again, right?
But when
If
you're
that makes
with
sense.
yourself, if you're not married,
With
you
yourself
know.
if you're not married, or with your husband if you are married,
Hmm.
because he would hopefully appreciate the woman that you've evolved into, and you would hopefully appreciate the man that he is, the provider that he is, the man that he is. He's your helpmate. He's your helpmate. He's helping you walk through this thing that we call life,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But I think that when we're younger, we put stipulations and other things on relationships. When you're older, I don't know about you, but I think women over 40 get this certain sense of, okay. Like, it's just like, okay. Oh, I'm not dealing with the bullshit, and I understand. And a man is going to be who he's going to be anyway. And if you have a good man, you don't need to worry about that. And if you're a
Hmm.
good woman and you're doing things the right way, make sure that it's reciprocated. Make sure that these things are reciprocated. You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, I think what's different after 40, like to your point, when you're young in your 20s, you're still kind of figuring out 30s, still figuring it out as far as relationships are concerned, figuring out who you are as a person, what matters to you, what's important to you. After your 40s and 45, and if you have children, the way you relate to your children changes. Obviously, I had this whole thing with my daughter cooking last night. She was making dinner for everyone and she wanted to do a certain way. And I had to be like, I had to step back and be like, okay, let her do it her way.
Mm-hmm.
So where was she was 5 or 6 learning how to make macaroni and cheese, I would have been there. I would have been like,
Mm-hmm.
pour this and do that. And so your freedom as a parent changes, like what you can do as a parent. So now I can step back. Now, what do I do with my time now that I've stepped back?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's like, okay, let's look at what are the things that I've wanted to do or I wanted to learn or I've wanted to go because
Mm-hmm.
now, and you're in this situation now with
Mm-hmm.
all your kids grown, it's like identify what matters to you because right now your life is no longer centered around helping your kid make macaroni and cheese.
Right.
Now you're stepping back and you're letting them do their own cooking
Mhm.
and putting their own flavor in their life, so to speak,
Correct.
right? And then you have the opportunity now to step back and make your life flavorful, like in whatever way that
And
means for
and the thing
you.
about it is when you're in a relationship, if your relationship isn't bonded because of you and the kids, right? If it's not bonded because of you and the kids, if that's not the band-aid, then when the kids leave, you have a healthy relationship. You can travel, you can go out to dinner, you can go to movies, you can just sit by the pool, have a glass of wine, chill. You could
Hmm.
do whatever the hell you want to do. You
Hmm.
can walk around the house butt naked and on a Tuesday. It's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Unless your kids have a key to your house, then
Right.
they might walk
Well,
in.
well,
That
you'll know
happens.
you'll have a camera. You'll have a camera. You'll know when they come. But also, when you're single and you're older, you can go eat dinner with your girlfriend when you want. You can go shopping when you want. You can take a trip to Amsterdam. You can
Hmm.
do whatever you feel like you need to do. You can go to the mountains for the weekend. You can sit on your back deck and read a book, right? When you go to work and you get off work, you can meet friends after work. The purpose of this is figure out what you want for your life and do it. Make it happen.
Hmm.
Like we can be mad at a whole lot of things that we didn't do. Do it
Yeah, it's
because the
not,
only thing stopping you is you or money.
yeah, sitting back and looking backwards is never
If I could, I should, I woulda.
beneficial,
Hmm.
unless you're looking back and seeing a lesson and then you're learning from that. But I don't think living in the rear view is, it doesn't serve us in any way.
No.
So, and so many of us, our lives are centered around our children. So once they get older, for some people it's like it's a huge adjustment because their life has been so focused on their kids. And those are kind of, I feel like maybe the helicopter parents in a sense. And I think we all have a little bit of that in us. But just being able to have your interests, and I would even say, like, make a list of the things like you would want to learn or do. And then when the opportunity comes, do it. So that way you're not sitting around all in your kids' business.
I think this is what I honestly think, and this is just going to be the realest of the real. When you put all your eggs in one basket, there are going to be some eggs that are broken. You can't. You can't put all your eggs in a kid's basket because
Mm-mm.
one day that kid's going to have a wife or a husband or a partner, and you're going to have to stand down. Like, I'm not going to be in my son's marriage telling him how to run his house or telling his wife how to run her house. You stand down. One day, my daughter's going to have a husband and she's going to be married to somebody. I'm not going to be in their business telling them how to live their life. It's not going to happen. So, parents, you have to understand, men, women, whether you have kids or not, you're going to get older one day. It's just a part of life. Figure out how you want to finish the latter part of your life. If you want to finish that with a person, if you want to finish that, just look at the girl on a kayak. She's kayaking all over to Hawaii some damn where by herself, which is, I mean, it's admirable. I'm not doing that shit, but it's admirable, right? Figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it, and figure out the relationships that serve you and the relationships that don't.
You know what you just made me think of
What?
when you said kayak?
Ain't
The,
she on a kayak?
I don't know. I don't know about her on the kayak, but when you were talking about the Golden Bachelor the other day,
Uh huh.
and there's I of course looked it up because I don't watch any of that stuff, but I looked it up.
Gosh, you're gonna
But
have to start. You're gonna have
no,
to
I
start.
feel like I lose brain cells. But
That's some funny shit.
but
Not the loose
the
brain cells.
one woman, she's like 71 and lives in Alaska, and she's like she plays ice hockey.
Mm.
She does hiking. She's like running up the side of a mountain, and I was like, that's amazing. Like,
It's
it's inspirational.
it's there are 7 blue points. I think we
Hmm.
have 8 now, but I think there's 7 blue points where people live,
Oh, blue zones.
blue zones, where
Hmm.
people live the longest
Hmm.
in their life.
Hmm.
And when you look at those blue zones, they are happy, they're spiritually happy. Some of them have wine, they have family, they have love, they eat well, they take care of their bodies, they exercise. It is a choice. And when you get over 40, choose wisely. That's what I'm going to say. Choose wisely. Choose good, wholesome friendships that add to your life, that bring things better. When you get over 40, choose good relationships. If you're single, choose a good man.
So, define when you say choose good relationships, what does that look like?
That means healthy, no arguing, no bickering, no competition. We as women, we don't need to compete with each other. We should lift each other up.
Hmm.
Women, let's not Some people think that's what this show is, male bashing. We're not male bashing anybody. What we're
Who
doing is
thinks
we're
the
trying.
show is male
Well, I
bashing?
mean,
We're not male
I got a
bashing.
couple comments on me, like, I'm a male basher, but we're not doing that. What we're doing is trying to make parenting, single parenting, womanhood, sisterhood, friendship, male female friendships better. It's a safe space for everybody, especially a single mom,
Right.
because single moms don't tend to have that support group that they need, or they feel like people can't hear them. And we want to be a show where everybody can hear us. So it's, when I say choose wisely, I mean, if you have a friendship that you've been fighting to keep a friendship for 20 years, that ain't your fucking friend, right? Because you should be able to have a friend, not talk to them in 2 months and pick up where you left off. Right. I've got friends that have different political views. I have friends that are different colors. I have friends that are different cultures. But that don't mean I don't love my friend.
Right.
It's still if I pick up the phone and call one of my friends right now, I'd be like, "Girl, what the hell you been doing?"
I feel like
Nothing.
a real friend, like when you talk about good relationships, healthy relationships, they have your back, and in a way that is in a growth space, right?
Right.
So, it's different in the decades, like 20, 30, 40. It's going to be different the way your friends support you. But the one thing that is not going to be different that's consistent is you don't want people who are toxic, who are putting you in situations where you're in danger or they're in danger. And it could be real danger, or it could be emotional, mental. They can, there are women, and men in relationships that could be, abusive in a mental way, or take advantage of you. And it's like identifying that and knowing when to forgive and nurture the relationship, or forgive and move on.
And I think that's why in relationships, whether it be a male, a female, two women, two men, it is important to have friends. It's important to have friendships. It's important to step away from whatever that thing is, to step away from them and go outside and get some air. Not saying that you're going outside to fuck around. You're going outside just to get some
Are
air.
you talking about in a like a
In a
in a
relationship,
relation,
a
like a
marriage,
relationship?
if
Gotcha.
you're in a relationship, if you're in a marriage, if you have friends, like all your friends aren't meant to be friends with all your friends. Like you may have one friend group and that friend group may not click with the other friend group. But that doesn't mean you don't love both friend
Or
groups.
just different interests,
Yes.
right? Y'all do different
I
things.
don't think everybody's friends are meant to be friends. They are meant to be acquaintances. They're meant to be cool with each other. But everybody's friends aren't meant to be friends. And when you're in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or a marriage or that's my boyfriend girlfriend relationship, it's okay to have other friends and it's okay to do other things. It's okay to go dance the night away with some friends as long as you come home.
So, do you think, like you're in a relationship with someone? Do you think you should be friends with his friends, and his friends should be friends with your friends, or do you think it's okay that he has friends that you don't even really talk to or have any sort of relationship with? You get what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, because when I was
I'm
married, my
not
ex had friends that I didn't even know any
I,
some
I,
of his
I don't
friends,
I don't I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
unless it's like a close friend.
Because some of my friends aren't friends with the guy that I would date. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason I don't think it's anything wrong with that, again, if you're with somebody you don't trust, then you shouldn't be with them. You should not be with them. If you're with somebody that you don't trust, you shouldn't be with them. If you have friendships that you don't really think are authentic and you don't think that they're your real friends, that's not a friendship. I could give 20 million people a key or a code to my house that are my friends. Not 20 million, right? But I could give
I was like, wait, what?
I could give people the code to my house and say, "Hey, go in and do this." I'm not worried if they're going to steal all of my shit out of my house. I'm not worried that 2 days later somebody going to come up here and rob me. I'm not worried about that because they're my friends. No, I'm not giving it to everybody. I mean, and you got to get through Louis. So I'm going to know if you're my friend or not because you can't get through the dog.
Right.
Like, it's just when you get older, it's different. It is different. When you're younger, you're like, oh, my man, my man, my man, my baby.
So
You're like, oh, no.
I'm gonna shift a little bit, and we can include relationships in this if you want to, but I'm gonna shift it. So, what do you think women over 40? What do you think are some stereotypes or some misinformation that's out there about women over 40 or over 50?
I don't I don't know and I don't really care, but I will say this. Half the women over 40, you can't tell they're over 40 because they look damn good. Women are taking care of themselves right now. Women are on point right now. I mean, some of the women over 40 are dating younger men. They are dating younger men. So, I mean, the stereotype that women want everybody to pay their rent and take care of them, that shit's kind of old right now because women are running the game. Not every woman wants a man just because they need him to take care of their bills. Some women want men because they want companionship. Some women want men because they just want a man, right? So I think that's a little bit of a myth that, oh, everybody wants a bag and everybody wants their bills paid and everybody, you know, those type of women, right?
So I feel like you feel that that's women over 40?
I think it's still 40 and over. I think
Yeah.
that sometimes men still think that women want them for their money. And
I mean,
if
hopefully they can bring more to the table than
if
that.
you're if you're 40, you should be established, right? You should hopefully have your shit together. You should hopefully be at the point in your life where you're not taking any nonsense. So if you go out with somebody on a date over 40, you ought to know what he's about after the first or second date.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this to you for years. You can only pretend for so long. You can only be fake for so long. Have I not said that to you? It doesn't matter who it is. Who you really are is going to come out at some point. And
Yeah.
what did we just say earlier today? When somebody shows you who they are,
I gotta believe them.
you got to believe
Thank
them.
you, Maya Angelou. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what is the stereotype? If she's not dating somebody, is she bitter or is she mad? Why you don't have a man? You bitter, you mad, you angry? That's stupid too.
Yeah.
That's stupid too. Like not every woman is angry, and not every black woman is angry. Maybe she just don't have a man because she don't want one, or maybe she doesn't have a man because she hasn't found the man, or maybe she's like me and she hasn't been married because she's been raising kids for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. I think men are sometimes intimidated. Like we talked about this a little bit offline a
Mm-hmm.
couple of days ago, how we don't really realize it, but sometimes men are intimidated by a woman who has a career or looks like she doesn't really need a man. It goes back to that book. It's like we need to redefine what a relationship is about. It's not necessarily I'm going to be with someone because I need you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to be with someone because we're compatible.
Also, think about this. Think about how social media has changed the lives of dating. Social media has completely changed the way we date because when we were out there and dating, we could go out to dinner or we could be at a bar and somebody would come over and be like, "Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy y'all dinner? How y'all ladies doing?" That person walks up to you and introduces themselves. "Hey, my name is Charles. How you doing? Can I get you a drink?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm Dina or Rebecca." It depends on if you want to use your fake name, right? Like, remember you used to use a fake name when you went in
I
the
didn't even
bar?
have a fake name, except when we went out that one time. We made
Yeah,
up fake names.
you get a fake name. So can you imagine when everybody on the Instagram looks like an Instagram model? They all have the same eyebrows, the hair, the booties, the everything. Can you imagine a man that makes normal wages, that like he's a good man? He could be a teacher, he could be whatever. He's not a baller or anything like that. Can you imagine that man walking up to you to say, "Can I buy you a drink?" How probably intimidated he is by walking up to a woman and then she might be like, "No, I'm not."
They got it
They feel
hard.
like they don't even have a chance when really they do because there's so many women that want a man to walk up to them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And men are afraid. They're like, "Yeah, I ain't about to get rejected." It's the rejection that she ain't about to reject me.
Yeah, and social media has like amplified that
Right.
base.
So now I'm going to
Yeah.
slide in your DM. Now I'm going to DM you.
But I think social media has amplified it too, even if it's not in a DM, it's amplified it in a way that you're seeing these people, these women in a light that is not necessarily
Correct.
right.
And the Bible says he who finds a wife, not she who finds a husband. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to go out. It's like Casey said on Love Island, and I know this sounds crazy at my age, but Casey's like, "She chose me."
Mhm.
No, baby, you choose her. It's the chase.
It all sets up like social media and even dating shows like that. It sets up a whole kind of like an expectation of what a woman should look like or what a woman should do or what a woman should be. And that's one of the things. If I had to pick something that I feel I don't like is like the generalization and the stereotypes that happen across the board, which is one of the reasons why I don't ever really tell people my age,
Mm-hmm.
is because I'm like, you're not going to put me in a box. You're not going to be like,
Right.
oh, you're however old you are, that means you should this, or oh my gosh, you've done that. Oh, you look like that, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, know me for who I am. And I think everyone deserves that level of, clean slate or respect. Like, let me just get to know you for who you are without
Mm-hmm.
all the other stuff
But in
around
doing
it.
that, that requires conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That requires getting to know somebody.
Right.
You can't just say, "Oh yeah, this is my man. I'm spending the rest of my life with him," and you don't know him. And that also requires allowing a man to be a man. My grandma used to tell me, when a man loves a woman, there is nothing he won't do. There is nothing that will stop him from getting to you, and there's nothing he won't do for you. And I believe that. But we have to be dated. We have to be wanted. We have to be sought after. And when the woman is taking over that and she's doing everything and she moving and shaking, what she want him to do? Then you back to Casey again. She chose me. It's he who finds a wife. There's something sexy about a man coming up to a woman being like, "Hey, baby, I got you." Right? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
like that Obama, that Obama coming in the room and he just shuts the shit down. It's that
Okay.
swag.
So we're gonna shut down the preconceived notion that women over 40 don't necessarily want men to walk up to them. What we're saying is, and I know we're younger women too, but we're talking about women over 40. So we're like giving you the green light. Like, you see
Yes.
women out and they have their stuff together and they're out with their friends and whatever, like, shoot your shot. Like,
Shoot your shot.
shoot your shot.
Get
Don't
your swag on.
don't fall for, oh, she has it together, she's over 40, she's, doesn't need a man or whatever. Like, we don't need one, but maybe you're the one we want.
Exactly.
So shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst she could say is like, I'm seeing somebody, or
Or she may
I'm
be able to
married.
invite you to her and introduce you to her friend. You
See,
never know.
you absolutely
You
never
never
know. I
know.
think that, again, whatever the mom's name from Blackish, we only have so many summers
Jennifer,
left.
that's all I
We only
know.
have so many summers left. Let's live it. We only have so much more time left. Let's do it. Figure it out. Whatever the recipe is that works for you.
What's on your
Let it.
list? What's on your I'm doing this? Because I've been thinking about this probably for the last several months now that, Kendall's getting ready to leave for college and Kay's going to be a sophomore. I've been thinking about what next year, live life like in 6-month increments. Like, what would be your thing? What's your thing that you really want to do? Hopefully I'm not rambling and not making sense, but you get what I'm saying.
Get Mari together.
But what does that look like?
That looks like knowing what I want, because for 25 years, you have to think mine kind of went backwards. For 25 plus years, no, 34 plus years. What am I saying? 35 years. I've been a mom. I've put everybody's thing before me. I've done what everybody else wanted to do. It's like the runaway bride.
Mhm.
When they said, "What kind of eggs do you like?" Whatever kind of eggs my man likes. So for me, it was, "What kind of eggs do you like?" What kind of egg does my kids like?
Yeah.
What kind of eggs does Gracie like? Gracie likes boiled eggs. Mariah likes scrambled eggs. Dee likes fried eggs. I'm picking my own eggs now. I can get up in the morning and say, I don't want an egg. Like, I don't want an egg.
And
So
I'll be like, did you
for
eat your egg?
me, yeah, that's in your collagen. For me, I'm just getting to know me. I'm getting to know who I am. And it's not necessarily saying that I don't want a man. I do. I want the right man.
So you're exploring what your interests are right now. You're exploring, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you're kind of exploring, like, what does Mari 2.0 look like, in a sense,
Well, my show,
Mm-hmm.
this show right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is something that I wanted to do forever. I didn't have time to do because
Yep.
I'm a mom, right? This was one of my dreams. Shout out to the producers and everybody for
Shout
making it
out.
happen. And my wonderful co-host, right?
Thank you.
And for the people that watch that believe in me, right? I had a lady tell me the other day, she was like, I love watching your show because it reminds me of you in Bible study. This is the Mari that I know from Bible study.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, our kids went to grade school together.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Bible study with her. And I'm like, girl, how about I miss you? And I'm beginning to know, like, I get to go love on my grandchild. I get to see my kids in a different light. And if I begin dating somebody seriously or more serious than I am now, then guess what? He has to go to that level with me.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be like, okay, well, we can't travel this weekend because we've got our grandchild. He's got to be at that level with me. And, hopefully we're working towards the same goals. And hopefully he already has his kids, because that's a whole nother show. I can't be with somebody with little kids because now I've got my grandchild and she is my little kid.
Yeah.
So life for me is like, do I want to wake up and do I want to have coffee or do I want to have mimosas? That's life for me.
I think about, obviously I still have my girls home until August, but I'm already thinking ahead. Like, I want to spend, a month in Europe. I want to live in Spain and in Italy and be there for a couple months in the summer or whenever during the
Mm-hmm.
year. That's kind of where my mind is like, what are the things I want to
It's
do?
crazy because we have friends that are doing that right now.
Yeah, we do.
And we're recording.
Yes. And that's fine. This is our season.
Right.
This is where we are right now. And I'm happy about it. And we will be recording over there,
Right.
one
Yes.
day. But it's like, it's a great point you said that, because we have friends there and we're here doing this, but this is where we are. And I think it's so important to embrace and be grateful for the space you're in right now, rather than looking so far ahead and looking like, well, they're doing that and I want to be doing this. We will be doing that. But this is where we're supposed to be, planting our seeds right in here.
Right.
But I know, like, for me, it's like, this is where I want to do that. I want to live there. That's where I want to be. I want to explore that with, my daughter can come, or they can come, or they cannot come. Either way, that's something that's on my list that what I really want to do.
Yeah. And I just, when you get over 40, you get up in the morning and you just be like, thank you, God, I'm up. I'm healthy.
That's a good habit to start even before
I'm
you're
up,
40.
I'm healthy.
For
Like,
the
I'm like,
young ones out there,
yeah,
grab
I'm
that
up,
habit.
I'm healthy. Gratitude is so important. I'm up, I'm healthy. I start looking, I start, texting my sister something funny, or doing something silly, or I get up and I'm like so into my garden.
Yep.
I mean, I'm so into these
Those are
damn
great
cucumbers.
things.
It's
I
just
know.
crazy as hell. Like, I'm into these cucumbers, right?
Yep.
Just figure out what your passion is.
And I'll nerd out for a second. Your body actually does have a physiological response to having a grateful mind and being grateful.
Mhm.
I have to nerd out for a second. It's true.
And
And go being in the garden, and you guys have probably all heard this, and breathing, like intentional breath, like all that really helps bring your cortisol levels down. That's something that shoots up when you're over 40.
yes.
So gratitude
And
is
cortisol is
huge.
no joke over 40.
Mm-mm.
Stress will kill you. And
Yes.
that's something that I'm trying to avoid. So if it's that's when we talked about toxic people and toxic relationships. If you're living with that toxicity every single day of your life, that is cutting a day off your life. I'm not willing to do that. For all the money in the world and all the shit, I'm not willing to do that, because I want to be here. I want a healthy relationship, and I want young girls, younger women that are under 40. Look for a healthy relationship. It might be that nerd. It might be that guy that you didn't ever think you were going to date. I mean, who cares? Just look for somebody that is going to put eggs in your basket. Look for somebody that's going to fill your cup.
And whose cup you don't mind filling.
Right. Right.
There we go. Cheers to that.
Have a good one.
See you next time. Pick up line.